Hi friends, welcome to A3 Aquatics. Today we'll be discussing on the most requested topic, which is koi pond filtration system. ഈ വീഡിയോ ഞാൻ ഇംഗ്ലീഷിലാണ് ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുന്നത് കാരണം ഒരുപാട് പ്രേക്ഷകർ ഇംഗ്ലീഷിലോ ഹിന്ദിയിലോ വീഡിയോ ചെയ്യാമോ എന്ന് ചോദിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. ഈ വീഡിയോ ഇംഗ്ലീഷിലായിരുന്നാൽ പോലും നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഈ വീഡിയോ കണ്ടാൽ തന്നെ മനസ്സിലാകും എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഒരു koi pond filtration system assemble ചെയ്യേണ്ടതെന്ന്. So this would be my first video in my channel in which I'll be using English as the primary language of communication. If you like my content, please like and share my video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do consider subscribing to it. Coming back to the topic, we all know that koi fish are heavy feeders and thereby produce a lot of waste. As you could see in the video, before installing the filter there was a lot of particles in the water. But after installing the filter, within 4 to 5 hours of installing, the water became crystal clear. The quality of the water is very important to maintain the color and growth in your fish. So let's start. To begin with this build, we'll require a plastic barrel, which I got from my local hardware store. Then you will need a perforated bucket or a tumbler. Now the next part that we require is a tank connector. As you can see, the one that is in my hand consists of 3 parts. The one that I'm unscrewing is called the male threaded adapter, and the one in the other hand is a female threaded adapter. We usually screw the male threaded adapter into the female threaded adapter. The off-white section that I'm unscrewing now is called the tank connector union. This part literally acts as a union between the connector and the PVC fittings that are coming on the outside part of the filtration unit. And the other component which is crucial for this filtration system is a non-return valve. This is made out of brass and I'll show you how it works. This has an arrow mark depicted on it which shows that that is the only direction of flow that will be happening inside this adapter. As you can see, when the water tries to flow in from the other direction, there's a flap that closes the flow of water and hence preventing the reverse flow from the filter back into the tank. The next important component we require for plumbing are the connectors. This is a female threaded adapter with the threadings coming in the inside of the pipe, and the male threaded adapter which has the threaded appendage on the outside of its body. Other than these, we require elbow joints. In this case, I will be requiring 2 kinds of elbow joints. One which has a 1-inch diameter and the other one that has 3/4 of an inch in diameter. This is because I'll be using 2 kinds of PVC pipes, one of 1 inch and the other 3/4 of an inch respectively. And I would require a end cap which will come in the end of the drainage pipe. Not but the least, I forgot to tell you that I also require a flow controlling valve for draining out the slurry, which can be turned on and off by twisting the knob. And so for securing the PVC pipes, you will require a Teflon tape that goes onto the threaded appendages and a PVC sealant that goes onto the parts that do not have a threading appendage on it. Like I mentioned, I will be using 2 kinds of PVC, one of 1-inch diameter, the other 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Now let's see how to connect the non-return valve. To connect the non-return valve, ensure that you place it in the position of the desired flow. Now connect to MTA, which is the male threaded adapters, on both ends of the non-return valve. Now you could see that the 2 ends of the MTA are exposed. These MTA ends would be then connected to a PVC pipe that fits into the MTA. So the bottom pipe will help us connect this non-return valve to a motor that ensures the flow into the filtration tank, and the PVC pipe on top will help connect the non-return valve to the tank connector union. Now on the bottom end of this PVC pipe, let's attach a female threaded adapter or the FTA. So the threaded portion of this adapter will be screwed onto the motor, helping us secure this whole structure onto the motor. You will understand it more clearly once we reach to the section where we connect it to the motor. So this is how the pipe should be assembled. Now for the drainage pipe, we'll require a union connected to an elbow joint to a PVC, which is then connected to this control valve, which has two male threaded adapters attached on both ends, just like the non-return valve. And now let's take the plastic barrel and drill 3 holes into them. The one on the bottommost is for draining the slurry. The one just above it is for the intake, and the one at the topmost is for returning the water back into the tank. Now let's work on the interior of the barrel. Here we'll be using the plastic tumbler and 2 PVC pipe settings, which you would see in a while. So I've marked a line over the PVC so that I know that this aligns perpendicular to the ground level, and I've aligned it in such a way that the flat end of the elbow is facing towards the bottom of the tumbler, such that it can suction all the debris that is accumulating on the bottom of this tumbler during the filtration process. So you can align it in a way such that you can see the line and it is parallel to the surface of the ground. And we would use another pair of PVC pipe bending with an elbow joint in such a way that there is one end of the PVC that faces upwards inside the tumbler. I'll show you in a while. This is also having a black line so that I know exactly how to position this pipe. The line should face me when I'm standing over this tumbler. Yep. And one end of this PVC pipe will be facing towards the top side of the filtration chamber, and the other one will act as an inlet for water. So now you can imagine that there's water that will be going towards the top of this tumbler, circulating along in a circular motion, causing the debris to collect at the bottom of the reservoir of this plastic tumbler, which will be then suctioned by a drainage valve. So it's a very simple mechanism, and it's a very easy to make filter. Now after doing this, let's connect all the tank connectors to the barrel. We will require 3 of them. Forgot to mention you, always note that the one that will be placed at the topmost, this should have a diameter larger or twice the diameter of the inlet. I have made a mistake by making it the same diameter, which you will be able to see in the end of the video, that I had to use 2 outlets to drain off the filtered water back in the tank. So do not make this mistake. Once you have finished completing all 3 connectors to the barrel, we will see how the union can be fixed along to this. So here I'll be showing you how to fix 2 of the unions, one of which would be connecting to the motor and creating water to collect inside this tumbler, and then the second union I will show you, which would be the outlet of filtered water back into the tank. So this is the first one. Use the PVC pipe, insert it to an elbow joint, and use the PVC to insert it into the union of the tank connector. Alright, so now this is done, and we will screw it onto the hole that comes in between the bottom and the top. Alright, so now the pipe that we had created before using a non-return valve can be locked on to position, and this would be the last union in which I will be connecting a PVC pipe that will help create the waterfall into the aquarium or the tank. The third one would be that of the drainage, which we'll be showing you once it's installed outside. So this is how the tank would be looking. You could see that there's a ring, white color ring marking, below which would be the drainage valve, and the pipe above it is the one for intake. Let's have a peek into it. So there is a PVC pipe that faces upwards, and there will be an elbow joint that faces downwards to collect all the fish fecal matter. Alright, so this is how we arrange the bucket inside the barrel. Once this process is done, let's take this outside and connect it to the motor. So as I showed you, the female threaded adapter is then rotated onto the motor, securing the non-return valve onto the motor, which would then feed water inside the barrel. After this, insert the motor and connect the union to the connector, the inlet connector. You could see that the water is murky and has some tannins from the leaf litter falling into the tank. Yep, and connect the union to the connector. As for the drainage, you could see that I have connected the control valve to a PVC pipe, and the end of which it has an end cap. Now inside, start filling the barrel with these small pebbles or rocks. This is the one that you use for construction, for concrete work. Use it on the bottommost layer of your barrel, above which I'll be placing normal construction brick that has been crushed, not crushed into powder but crushed into larger chunks, and I'll be filling this in creating a layer on top of the baby metal or the baby pebbles. Over this I'll be placing plastic scrubs which are used for cleaning the utensils. I purchased around 100 of this and I have stacked it all on top of the red brick. And once all of these are secured into the tank, I will then cut a circular mesh to hold all this plastic, because there's a chance this could float once there is water in the tank. So secure all these plastic scrubs with a plastic mesh. So I've cut a circular mesh, I'll show you in a while. Here it is, and now I would insert this and try to contain all the scrub under this plastic mesh. Once all of this process is complete, place larger sponges on top of this which are more porous. I'll show you in a while. So these are black sponges that I used to use for a previous filter, and the sponges are already loaded with bacteria because it was a part of another filter which I've put in this so that I can jump start the filtration process. It also has some active bioballs that I've used from a previously mature tank. So this will help in conditioning the tank water more quickly than if I had to start it all over from scratch. So the motor feeds water into the non-return valve. The non-return valve then is connected to the connector which feeds the barrel through the filtration media, and the water falls over a height into the tank. So since the water is falling from such an height, it creates a lot of surface agitation which provides oxygenation to all the fish. You all know that carp require a lot of oxygenation, and believe me, this is enough. You don't need to provide any other separate form of aeration. Just this waterfall is enough to create surface agitation, which will in turn make the water oxygenated. So check the comparison. This is before installing the tank filter and this is after. Hope you liked my video. If you like it, please like and share. If you haven't subscribed, please do consider subscribing. Thank you.